Yeah, let's not fall over. What's up? We finished this piece yesterday, and if it is not immediately obvious to you why we decided to call ourselves NB3, it shortly will be. This is called Genderfucked. What you see is not what you get. You find the gender thing confusing. Yeah, no shit. So do we. But you may be in luck. Let us share with you a day in the life of the Genderfucked.
We started the first conversation we'd had in years with a message that read, "Can I ask you a question out of curiosity that might be triggering for you? For the record, and no, not yours, but for my own record, I am not a social experiment. But being young and inexperienced, I took the bait. Where did, insert dead name here, go? Let my record show my gender is not a social experiment."
If someone must introduce me, it should be they. But if my chosen family wants to discuss me, I don't mind he. Pronouns do not equal gender. They're just used to make room for language to identify the unidentifiable in a simple sentence.
How I really feel is that my gender is too anarchist and multitudinous to fit into a single word.
Like I'm an option laying comatose on the gender mart shelf. Ingredients slapped on the label of a clean-cut, severed breast, added hormones package to sell you understanding.
Painted nails, dangly earrings, hair off the rails, I got a lot of feelings. Skirt on my waist and weight on broad shoulders, hair on my face makes the eye of the beholder blink and do the double take. Kinda makes you think we ought to take the gender roles and shake the whole thing up. Living gender punk with a runneth over cup.
Now, I gotta backpedal. Try to unravel these conversations I get roped into by coworkers who think I'm also a cis male, who think it's okay to use the word bitch to degrade women as long as there are no women present. Just a little tip, regardless of the gender of your listeners, it still makes you an asshole.
I have never felt trapped by my own body. The cage only closes from outside of me. Once anyone else seeing this body thinks they already know the whole story. And it's not that I don't think having answers is important. It's that I think allowing myself the grace to exist in fluidity is much more important. Change is nature, and I'm all natural me.
You see a boy in a dress. You perceive me as a man in distress. When I'm dressed to impress, I epitomize my queer. Hey, my eyes are up here. Let me share a cold, hard truth.
The politicians aren't scared of us corrupting the youth. I know what they've been telling you, but my trauma and my gender are not inherently tied together. I'll explain. I'll explain that my dead name never represented me. How my dead name was never a person, but a label slapped across my body at birth certificate. That it failed to encompass the core of who I was and morphed into an ever-shrinking box as my body morphed into what most would perceive as fitting only one side of the gender binary.
Expression of this fuckery is a toy that's fun to play with. Sometimes. Not my favorite toy, or the comfort figurine, or the plushie I must sleep with at night for my own peace, just one of many, kept in the chest. My gender is personal, and thus I am the only person it should matter to, though most of the time it really doesn't feel like it even applies to me. But regardless of what euphoria I can find within my own mind, I will still always experience misogyny. Because unfortunately, gender is something that does matter, if only to other people.
They don't punch down for the sake of the country. They're just lashing out because we make them uncomfy. Good. Stay free. We're here to burn down the dystopia you seek.
So I'll peel off the label. Sign up for a prescription to a weekly shot that also arrives in a little box, and box times box equals freedom? No, sorry, this is just addition, and box plus box equals a box with a little more privilege. I wish I could just rip off your perception of gender, because the truth is, when I'm home alone and staring in the mirror, I see a human that's neither male nor female. My body is merely a vessel for my energy.
I'll still walk into a binary bathroom, hands shaking, because even though all that I need is some sanitary porcelain, no matter which door I choose, I'm not supposed to be there. As if my body isn't just a body. As if the locks on the doors aren't just locks on the doors, but damning me to fit inside that box. Forcing me to pick between a 0 or a 1. No decimals for nuance. I am losing fractions of myself every single time.
There exists in every queer soul a fire that burns brighter than any oil or coal. A spark that inspires a distaste for control. And if you spark our fire will swallow you whole. Now, I was always bad at math. But even I can see something doesn't add up. They let us march down a set path, pat themselves on the back, then in hypocrisy tell us not to disrupt. While they argue over our lives, our rights, spewing vitriol and hateful lies to gaslight. But here's the thing about gas. I may be bad at math, but I was born poor white trash, so even I know one basic equation. Your gaslighting plus our fire can only result in conflagration. Hopefully you take our words to heart, with any luck.
Hopefully some of the Facebook lies you believed have been debunked.
Hopefully your ballot would be cast in favor over our rights over a buck. Thanks for joining us for a day in the life of the Genderfucked.